All right, hey everyone. This is DayTraderRockStar for a S&P update and a little education tonight, going into Wednesday, September 1st. Basically, we want to take a look at the S&P cash chart here, and each day going on each day on the radio show, we have to deal with these markets, and these markets have not been the most stable markets. Very volatile. You can see the last week. Last week, an up down, a down day, an up down, a down day, then a reversal again today, and then close a little bit higher, and then looks like tomorrow we're going to have a nice day. And it's micromanage the market, as traders tend to do, because you're sitting in front of your computer every day. Really, could really affect your outlook on the market, and you do bring in this negativity overhanging, like, oh my God, this is such a drag. The volume has been down. Excuse me for that. So, but just going back to the overall patterns, then you really need to really establish the overall patterns and believe in what you see in front of you. So again, we actually, I've been trading the markets for years, but just over this last 4 months, you could see the nice little channel trade that actually broke out of here, and this is really the first pullback to the lower channel line here, the downward channel line. And that's an important level. That's the first pullback of a breakout. And I use this indicator a lot. It's just a retracement back to a trend line. And that lined up with oversold stochastics tells me that this level is definitely a level. This is a reason why we're holding here. There's so much negativity in the market. He's easily just broken down right here. But there's a reason we came right down here, and we are closing candlesticks closed above this downward trend line. It's because this is an area technically that the market trades off of. For whatever reason, whatever the trading gods decree, but once you establish patterns and the market comes back to these patterns, they tend to hold up pretty good here. So now again, this leaves us on today's action. Oversold stochastics here. The pullback here, we've been actually putting a little triple bottom going out the last week here. Nice three little candlesticks, and we continue to close above that downward trend line. My personal opinion, that's why I wanted to get this video out tonight. I feel the market is absorbing this news. There's two main issues that lay in front of us: employment and unemployment, and the housing market. And the housing market came out a little better expected today. The Schiller Housing Report Index was little gleams of hope in there, and then again the consumer confidence was a little bit not as bad as expected, and everything seems to be like holding steady here. So the market's absorbing this, and we got some numbers out end of the week here. We got continuing claims, new claims, unemployment claims coming out on Thursday, and then the unemployment rate actually on Friday. Also some housing numbers tomorrow. So once we get through these numbers, I have a feeling that the market's going to work our way up off of this level. Stochastics will start ramping back up. We're going to move back up here. And again, but just getting through understanding that even though we're going 5 days of chop here, we're still on a certain level which we haven't really broken down yet, and the market continues to absorb this news. So now, how do you work with this intraday? Well, these patterns, as I described recently on a little webinar, the 5 indicator setups or the high probability trades, are areas where you want to wait for the market to get down to an area where you want to see that trade direction. So if you're looking to go short, you want to get the stochastics up here into an overbought area, and you want to have some type of overhead support or overhead resistance area, or some kind of other indicator on top of us telling us, hey, this is an area we need to watch for a move down here. In this case, we had overbought stochastics. This trend line hasn't really been established here, but once this was established, then you could work off of that over here. And then you can work off the break off, and then you can work off the breakdown here. So everything is lining up perfectly on a channel like this, including the candlesticks and stuff. So at this point, what looks good on the daily is also going to look good on the 60-minute chart. So let's go out on the 60-minute chart, and I'm going to zoom out here a little, because this was a pattern that we noticed back in July, the rise in wedge pattern. And we did call for that pullback down to this 1066 level. We came down to that level, bounced right off of that, up to the 20, but failed, and we continued down. Targets are there to give us some guidance, not to really lock those levels in here. I mean, we did make that move down to there, and then we continue to move down, and actually that level becomes that 1066. You could see how we bounced off of it here, pushed up, and gapped down under it, then came back, retested it, and right where that 1066, that lower trend line came down right here. So everything very organized. A nice little channel, downward channel here. And the stochastics on the 60-minute chart, which is very important. If you go back here and you just line up the stochastics here, the last time we got back into an oversold level, most likely the market gave us a little bounce here. And this is a 60-minute bar, so you're talking about, good day bounces here. Not to say, now that we're getting pulled back here, this is the one thing that I'm concerned about. Stochastics are not into an oversold level exactly on the 60-minute chart. Doesn't mean it has to, because here you can see a series of higher lows on the stochastics. But in this case, we have to let this pattern play out. I do believe a break of this pattern is going to give us a nice move back up to 1100, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Right now, the futures are up nicely overnight, and I would expect this level to be broken tomorrow. And again, absorbing the bad news going into this in the beginning of the month here. We're going to get a nice little rally again, triple witching in September. The week after that is notorious as being one of the worst weeks ever. So we're going to pay attention to the rally leading up into that level, and then reevaluate and see how the charts are. So looking good going into the end of the week here. And that's just my take on that. Again, the 5-minute chart, I just want to go over the 5-minute chart one more time, because that's another important level, that all these indicators work across the chart. So what works on the daily works on the 60 and works on the 5-minute chart. Now you can see today, 5-minute chart, actually this is going out today, but this is yesterday's trend line, and we capture this. And this is a nice little trade this morning. You can actually see the breakdown and the push right up to the trend line, and then you can see a little divergence in stochastics and the breakout, and it brought us right up to the 200. And the 200 is a very important moving average. At the same time, we got an oversold stochastic reading, so tend to get a pullback. And look where we pulled back to, right to the lower trend line. So the lower trend line again bounces back up here. In this case, we had a little divergence here. Actually, it was a little. We actually did get a little move up here. We stepped it around, then turned over and came flushing back down here. And down at this level, there's actually a lower trend line I didn't draw in here. It came underneath us, and we came right down, basically close to that level here. And I'm not even using that one, because what's more important is those oversold stochastics here. And we regained that, and we actually had a nice little lift at the end of the day here. And again, like I said, overnight futures are up here. But this is a 5-minute chart, so it's going to be, we have to get above the 200-period moving average tomorrow. I think we have to get out of this 60-minute channel that we're in. And then we're going to start to see some headway. Until then, there's the stocks are setting up according to these things. Intel been showing a lot of pain lately. The semis and the banks haven't been performing. If all these come together, could be a perfect storm to the upside. Banks are overdue. Banks are definitely definitely a little bit overdue here. That's Intel right there, but I want to just take a look at BAC here. Yeah, and again, you can see the grind down here. Again, all indicators pointing to a oversold level. And doesn't mean we can't get more oversold, but we're going to start to see some interest tomorrow. So that's the update. Hope you enjoyed it. You can listen each day. DayTraderRadio.com from 8:30 to 4 every day. See you in the markets.